What celebrities have you encountered that were either really nice or really horrible? 1. I ran into Adam Sandler outside of a Planet Fitness in Brooklyn. Back in early 2016, as I was leaving the Planet Fitness, it looked like he was walking in. We made eye contact, so I stopped and held the door for him. He got to the door and stopped right before he walked through in one of those fake poses that little kids make when you tell them to freeze. I stood there holding the door, plenty confused, for about 5 seconds. We just stood there, him motionless, and I standing there holding the door. Finally, he turned his head and said in the stereotypical Adam Sandler voice, "Ah, who? We kidding, I'm not going in there," giant grin on his face. We both laughed, and then he continued down the street. Fucking awesome. 2. I met the St. Bernard dog from Beethoven at Planet Hollywood. When I was a kid, seemed like a pretty nice dog in person. 3. When I was a teenager, I met Neil Armstrong at a retirement ceremony that my dad brought me to. It was at a museum, and it was a private event. There was time for everyone to wander the museum, and my dad saw Mr. Armstrong looking at one of the planes that my dad helped design. Nobody else was around. They struck up a conversation, and Neil asked me questions about what I was studying and how I felt about the work my dad did. My dad worked on classified planes when I was much younger. He seemed like such a gentle guy to me. A bunch of other men suddenly joined and started asking him for autographs, which he declined. It seemed to snap him out of his happy mood, and he kinda shut down and walked away at that time. I thought he was a bit of a jerk for not saying goodbye or anything. But I recently read about the hard time he had with fame, and I guess it makes sense. 4. Flava Flava ate at the restaurant I work at once. He made a huge deal about having to sit somewhere private because he didn't want any attention when it came to pay his bill. He tried to pay with a prepaid Visa that did not have enough money on it. 5 used to do delivery runs for a catering company, and we would get a lot of celebrities at the airport that ordered from us. Johnny Depp was the only one I ever saw face to face. Dude pulled a wadded up bill from his pocket and tossed it at me. I thought it was cool. I got a tip directly from him at all. But once I had it all unwadded, it was a $100 bill. 6. I met Jim Carrey when I was like 11 at a party. My parents attended. I couldn't stop staring at him. He was behaving so normal, and then when he noticed me staring, he did a masked facial expression and started staring at me. He's a genuinely funny guy and probably has the purest of heart. 7. Jeremy Piven. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Must have been method acting for the Ari Gold role.